Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Press Talk Sports Live. I am your host, Jeff Weisinger. So glad to be back. We've almost had a spring break. I have an episode coming up where we just kind of catch up on everything. But I have an awesome guest today. She is one of the first girls here to get a flag football scholarship, going to Bryan and Stratton College. I had to look up where this was at first. But it's super dope. Got a chance to watch it for the last 2 years with Liberty flag football, and this is going to be fun. So, Kaleigh Cook, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
How is senior year going for you?
It's going pretty good. Just kind of trying to survive towards the end of it.
That's pretty much.
Just trying to live it to the fullest because I'm going to be out of here soon. So.
Are you excited to the journey kind of ending now and everything?
Yes and no, just because my childhood's kind of done now in a way. But I mean, I'm still having fun.
The real world is going to hit really hard, trust me.
Yeah, I'm kind of dreading it a little bit.
I kind of want to dive right into it. First off, congratulations on the scholarship.
Thank you so much.
Full ride? Partial?
Yeah, partial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to start with this. Bryan and Stratton College, where? Because this is NAIA, right?
No, it's a JUCO.
It's a JUCO, okay.
Yeah.
So how did this kind of come about? Did they find you? Did you kind of reach out? How did this all go about?
So I guess the start of my recruiting journey was I made a reel with my clips from high school, and I was just let's put myself out there because I was kind of on the fence about it a few months ago. I'm
right.
I could play. I could play, but also I could go without it and just go to school and just focus on school. But then I made that reel. I posted it, and then I followed a bunch of schools, and they were one of the ones that followed me back, and there were a few that followed me back, and some that were reaching out. So actually, it was funny because the coach he reached out to me. And we were talking a little bit, just kind of explaining how the school is. I'm it's pretty cool. And that's when I was oh, I don't want to go out of state. I want to stay close. I don't. And it's funny because, now it's completely opposite.
Wisconsin is only a 30-minute drive, obviously.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But then he was, talking to me. I was I'm, slightly interested, cool. And at that point, I already had my first offer with the school in Tennessee. And then he was yeah, and we're in JUCO, I hope that's okay with you. And I was that's okay. I'm kind of open to anything.
Right.
And then, we were scheduling a call, and then I told my dad, it was actually kind of funny. I was I don't really know if I'm interested. It's super far,
right.
And I'm super glad that I didn't cancel the call. Because now I'm, in the perfect spot that I need to be in. And he was talking to me, and he was telling me so many things that, I never knew I wanted, on a, for my path for college, and it just lined up with everything that I needed personally. Also, with my academics, I struggle, staying on task sometimes and, getting my work done. And he also said that he, tracks and he individually checks in on the students. Mm-hmm. So, that's something that, I knew I needed, and I didn't know that was something that could be offered. And just everything sounded good. And since then, I've kind of just been this sounds pretty good. And I was talking to a few schools after that, too, but that one really just stuck out to me. And, yeah, so...
if I may ask, what were the other schools that you were looking at? Or vice versa, schools that were interested?
Well, my first offer was from Cumberland University in Tennessee.
Okay.
It was pretty. It's pretty. I didn't go visit, but seeing it online, it was really pretty. But it was too expensive. It didn't really fit my needs.
Right.
Also, I got an offer from Simpson University in Reading, so not too far. That was one of the things I was thinking about, but it didn't really fit what I wanted. And then some other schools Rockford in Illinois. Now thinking about I can't really remember too many, but there was probably 3.
There's a whole list. The rest don't matter now, but
yeah, I don't really focusing on it anymore.
Let me. I kind of want the junior college part because when people think junior college, usually you want to. More times now, you want to stay relatively local, at least within state. To go to a JUCO in Wisconsin, what kind of what stood out so much about BNS that really kind of made the decision to be okay to do a junior college in a whole. I mean, we're talking a whole of the world, up north.
And I still think about that question myself because I'm dang, I'm going this far for a junior college. I think about that, but it's honestly the coach and the environment that he provides and what he said he provides. And I've talked to a few of the girls on the team too, and pretty much they're saying exactly what he says about himself. The girls say that about him, and it's just everything just sounded amazing, and I was just you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's if I don't like it,
you just kind of get
out. I can get out if I need to. So it's I was thinking about it, and I was this lines up perfectly. So why not like give it a shot? And I know it was far, still super far. And I think about it, I'm like, oh, I'm really going that far. Like, it still scares me. But I mean, since I went on my visit last week, like, it just, everything is just, it feels right. So.
Because because I was saying you did visit last week. I saw a picture of you with the jersey on and everything. The 18, shout, awesome. 8 was not available?
Unfortunately. Okay. But he's going to order, my second number is 17, so he said he's going to order it for me. So, yeah.
I wore 17. It was Team USA back in the day. It was weird wearing 17 because I got used. It's so weird when you have to change a number.
Yeah.
And not just putting the 1 in it in front because that's kind of the with 18. Like, because interesting because like when I was back in the days of like leather helmets and everything, like I was wearing like 16. I think I wore 13 in high school. So when I got with the national team, wore 17, I was like, this is strange.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think it's just a number, and I'm like, no, like.
No, yeah, I feel like
you can have a certain range,
more.
right? You can have a certain range of things, and I think like 1 year I wore 8 for another team. That was the only time I wore single digits, and it was like the worst year I ever had.
Yeah, it's like a superstition I have.
Oh,
like,
I believe it.
This is the first time I've ever had this number, but I mean, I was just thinking like, you know what, 1 plus 7 is 8. I'm 17 years old. I'm like, why not? Like, let's just.
I'm glad we have the math part down with.
Yeah, like I always think about that. I'm like, how does this correlate with my life right now? I'm just like, that's gonna be a new number because.
Do you have a late birthday?
Huh?
Do you have a late birthday? From yes.
Mine's the 19th of July, so I could have been 19 too. Right. But I'm like, I think I want to start a new chapter because I've already had 19 before. Right. And it was when I played softball, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna have a new chapter or a new number and that kind of thing.
I want to ask about that because you played softball before the flag football thing started. What kind of led to you kind of committing to flag football overall? Because when I think about last year, the first year, I think everyone was just kind of seeing what this was going to be. No one really knew it was going to blow up the way it was. I think the idea was for it to be the way it was, but like it blew up so quick that no one expected it. What led for you to kind of ditch softball for flag football?
Well, it's kind of a mixture of a bunch of different things, but like one main thing is I kind of like. Sophomore year, I struggled with my confidence a lot, and like there were like some people that I'm not gonna like name, but some people just kind of, in a way, like the love in a way kind of like left for the sport, and like I tried super hard to gain it back, and it kept going in waves, and like it was okay. It was just like it wasn't that good on me like mentally, and then I started flag my junior year, and I was like, wow, like this is fun, like. Right. There's no attachment to like, oh, like I've messed up. Like for me, my mindset was like with softballs, like if I mess up, like I'll get down on myself because like I know how to do this. I know what I'm doing. Like why am I messing this up? But then for flag, it's like, oh, I'm new to this. Like if I mess up, it's fine. So it was like in that mental aspect, like playing wise, there wasn't like previous attachment. It's like all new. If that kind of makes sense. I don't really know how to like explain that. But then like I was like, oh, this is super fun. And then. Junior year, like after the season ended, it was super fun, and then the love just like disappeared, and it just like for softball, and I just had like it was just really bad on me mentally, and I was just like, you know what, like I'm gonna fight for the love back because I've been playing competitive softball since I was in 4th grade, and it never fully came back, and then I just kind of decided I was like, I think I might want to.
Just commit to.
I was like, I think I might want to hang up the cleats, and I gave myself like another summer season, like last summer. It was super fun. I started switch hitting, and I started loving it again. And then the like week or 2 break we had in between summer season and fall season, I was just like this is nice. I kind of like being away from it. Like it's not a bad thing. Like, and then I decided to play my fall season like last fall, and then I'm like, you know what, like, and that was also after flag and being a captain on the team and. Like playing a lot and that kind of thing, I was just like, this is so fun, and I actually genuinely enjoyed it.
I was gonna say, like it's funny because you talking just now, just talking about softball and flag. You could just tell how much happier you are in flag.
Yes.
It's interesting because I want to say it was Liberty softball, but do you feel like with how successful that program's kind of been, like you could maybe kind of missed out a little bit, or was it just so you kind of just put that on the shelf and okay, we're good there?
Honestly, that was kind of the way that my love left. Was because of Liberty. Okay. And I don't want to like blame anybody or anything. It just like if it was my choice, I'd still be playing softball. Right. But you can't play something that you don't love anymore. Right. So that's why I decided to switch over. So honestly, like I think about it and I see they're super successful. I'm like, wow, that's super cool. Like, good for them. But it's like,
you don't feel like you missed out or anything.
I'm glad that I'm not playing.
I'm happy for you. That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
See, Liberty softball ain't all that great, despite everything I've written on that team for the last 2 years. Take me through this journey, because you mentioned being new to this, right? Everyone here was new to this last year. Did you ever expect? I'll get back to the college part in a second. But did you ever expect things to be like this when you like that first day you guys stepped on the field against Heritage, and it was like 3 games a night,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm glad it's not anymore.
I forgot about that.
It was a jamboree style. I was like,
oh my gosh, I forgot.
I'm like, all right, first game I'm gonna kind of want to forget about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the first game. Cool. Like, and then like when you think about how much it's kind of just evolved these last 2 years, you were part of it really from the ground level in day one. Talk about just the growth of the sport and just kind of like how you kind of grew and just being a part of that.
So like you said, it was just like I'd never expected it to grow as much as it did, and like the way it felt to step on the field for the first time, like that very first game, I was like, whoa, this is weird. This is not softball. This is like it was interesting. Like never played the sport before. I mean, I would throw the ball around a little bit and like with my friends, but like nothing serious. And then I think just like as like the games progressed, I was just like, wow, like this is actually something that's pretty cool. And then I kept seeing more schools or like more states are like, oh, like we're having flag as like an actual like sport for high school, and I was like, oh, like this is actually happening. And then since like last season, I was thinking and also seeing things too, like, oh, like this college is offering. I was like, oh, like there's no way I'm gonna play. Like there's no way, because like that's when I was still on the fence about softball, and I was like, do I want to play softball? And then flag wasn't even like a thought in my head to play, because I just didn't know there were many schools that offered it. And then also when they announced like, oh, there's gonna be a real NCS instead of like the little like I don't even know what that was last year. Yeah, because I wasn't there at a tournament like for softball, so I couldn't go. But like finding out about that, I was like, oh, like they're starting to actually take this serious. Like this is not just like like let's do like little trial runs.
Was that kind of like the light bulb turning on type moment?
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, like this could be something. This could be something cool. Like, and I mean, I do get a little sad that I'm not like a 5-year-old girl. Like I could start this sport and grow and stuff. But I am super happy for like those girls that are super young. Like they get to actually have that experience of that being their main sport. Like they always started with.
But with that said, I think when you think about the area here, because like I mean, the one thing I've learned the last 2.5, 3 years I've been here now, Liberty itself, the community has a huge influence on the city.
Yes.
Right? In a way, when you think about flag football, Liberty, not that Brentwood hasn't had co-ed and girls flag football for the younger ages, but in a way, you're kind of part of a group that, with you and the girls from the other schools, y'all kind of set a foundation for like what's to come now. Like, you ever think about that part where it's not often you get to kind of start a sport, right?
Yeah.
Or be a part of something from the very beginning. I think for me, I think about in MLS when New York City FC first came in 2014-15 and being a part of that was like being it from day one.
Yeah, it's like
it never happened. You got to do it with an entire sport. You ever think to step back and be like, oh my god, like when you see the little kids kind of running around playing flag now, the little guys doing that, you were kind of like a part of building that for them.
Yeah, it's like history, like. Thinking about like my teammates, and we also have like a banner in our gym. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the picture. We have 2 of them now because one was from last year when we were in the league, and then this year again, back to back.
That banner, the way they do banners in that school, let me tell you something. I see Juan's esports banner, and I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, it should be like hanging in the rafters. Okay, y'all should have it like that.
Yeah,
you know.
And there's also like there's the one of like the pictures of us, like the big team one, and I just like look at that. And I'm like, it doesn't like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't like hit me yet that it's like, I mean, yes, I know that like we're like making history, like our team and stuff, but like I look at that picture, like the banner of like our team and stuff, and I'm just like, whoa, like girls are gonna be looking at that like years and years and years from now. And then like just thinking about that, I'm like, like that's actually really, really, really cool. Like,
so when they put you in the Hall of Fame, I just say I was at that thing on Saturday. When they put you in the Liberty Hall of Fame, you gotta look at that and be like, that was me. I was better than her. Yeah. I should have started over.
Yeah.
The first season, I have to ask, what was it like working with Malzahn? Because to me, like, I love covering him, love just talking to him and everything. The man is low-key nuts. In a good way. Good way. And he's gonna hear this, so I'm saying this.
Yeah.
But what was it like, kind of working alongside with him? Because he was a basketball coach. He is a good girls basketball coach, but he hasn't coached flag football like that. Yeah. So what was it kind of like starting under him and kind of building this whole thing up these last 2 years?
I mean, like we kind of all like learn things at the same time because a lot of them haven't coached actual girls flag football. I mean,
Right.
they've coached like tackle, like men's, like I know Malzahn played tackle in high school and stuff.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it's similar, but it's different. You know,
Right,
like,
right.
there's similarities and stuff. But yeah, we kind of all just grew together, and we just kind of all learned things along the way, which is kind of hard, like the first year, because like you have to actually learn. But like the
Right.
improvement from my junior year, like the first season, and then last season, it's grown so much. And like I didn't really have like a deep connection with him. Like junior year, there were 30 something girls on the team.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like,
Yeah, y'all showed up like deep.
oh yeah,
To games.
it
I was
looked-
like, the
yeah.
whole sideline was. I was like, what? I'm like,
A lot of schools did that too, because there wasn't like, it was just varsity.
because you also didn't have JV back
Yeah.
then. Right.
And that's also something I think is cool.
Do you
that
remember
they-
how many girls tried out? 'Cause I know, like,
The
I
first
know,
year?
because I know, like, flag was one of the few teams that had to make cuts.
I think it was around, first year was probably like, I would say maybe around like 45-ish
Jesus.
or so. And around 45. But then last year, ooh, at least like 60.
Were you kind of counting numbers like, no, I'm keeping my spot in this team?
Oh, yeah. I was like,
nope.
I'm
nope,
good.
Nope.
Just work hard. And I should be okay. Yeah. But yeah, just like I said, like I didn't really have like a strong connection with Malzahn like first year because there's so many girls on the team and
Right.
we were all just kind of figuring it out together. But then last year, like he saw something in me, like since like the beginning of that season. I don't know if he like saw something like junior year too. I just know that like he saw something in me last year, and then like when he decided to make me and Shia captains together, I was like, oh. Like, that's cool. Like, I love that, like, I appreciate that he thinks highly of me like that I can,
Right.
like, take over that role. And then kind of just since then, like, we've had, like, a good connection. Like, I see him around school. Like, I also had him. And then stuff like that. Like, he also has my brother for PE this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool, like we built, like, a relationship, like, on the field, too. But, like, I can also, like, talk to him off the field,
Right.
too, and stuff like that. And for my signing day, he's going to be there. He's going to talk for me.
When is signing day?
I think it's the 15th, Wednesday.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like just lots of relationships growing, like not just with him, like my other teammates and stuff too, and just super good.
That's what would you say was like your biggest growth from junior year to last season for you personally?
Honestly, probably. Oh, that's a good question.
See the hard hitting questions only here.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't say like my mental state, because like the whole time I wasn't really like. Because it's new and it like I always
right.
like I kind of like justify. I'm like if I make a mistake, I'm like, oh well, I'm new to this, so it's
Right.
like, if I mess up, like it's fine. Like
Right.
I haven't
But
been
also
doing
like
this for years.
at the same
like,
time, like so is everyone else you're playing against.
Yeah,
like, they're all
exactly.
relatively new to it, right?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say like my mental state,
Mm-hmm.
but I would probably just say like my ability to play and just like my IQ and stuff and also since that season and then like travel season this year, like this, because I joined my travel team like a month or two after like our season
West Coast
ended.
Blitz, right?
Yeah. And I've grown so much since joining that team, and it's like I think about it, I'm like, wow. Like I learned a lot like being on Liberty's team, but like joining that team, like I really like I learned so many things, and I'm like, oh, like I've never thought about that. Like not even like actual skills, but just like IQ and stuff like that, but also like on Liberty too.
Right.
Like I was learning things and also having like being a leader on the team, and I'm just like, okay, like there's just I don't really know. Like I'm trying to think like
It's like a lot of different things at once. But
yeah,
I mean,
there's like little things. Yeah.
It sounds like, from my point of view, like the confidence really kind of went to a whole next. Went to a whole other level. Probably a level I would think a level you may not have had in softball.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I gotta ask about that first season because that was just when I think about that first game, no one knew what to expect, and that was what it was. But
It was
just
horrible.
that entire, I don't want to say it. But it's interesting because like when I think about the way y'all went to that first year, right? Everyone's kind of learning on the fly. Malzahn and I would chalk talk. I would interview Malzahn, and then we would chalk talk for like 30 minutes afterwards. Like he was picking my brain on stuff because I used to coach and whatnot. When you guys blew Heritage out of the city,
Oh my gosh.
in that finale, and I'll say that because the scoreline speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But how good did that feel? Kind of get revenge the way they did y'all at the debut compared to the championship game. At the same time, getting to dump the Gatorade bucket on Malzahn. What was that whole experience like? Because I mean that doesn't happen. I've played football for like 15, 16 years on several levels, and like I've done the Gatorade dump several times. My last year coaching, my players actually did the water bottle dump on me.
Yeah.
We were JVs. We had no money, so we couldn't afford the thing. So we just had the little Gatorade bottles. What was that like, kind of being able to kind of do that?
It just felt like super good, just like, and also like knowing that like we accomplished something so big, like with like a new sport like that. I was like, dang, like we can do anything. Like seriously, like in that moment, and also the score of that game, it was like 50. I think it was 52.
Did you expect it to be like that?
No.
I was kind of wondering, because I knew that knowing Miles on, I know he won. I think it was like 34-0 at half, and he was like, "That's not enough," and I was like, "Oh, he's going for blood." I remember hearing him like just before y'all went to halftime, and he was saying, 34 is not enough. 34 is not something like along those lines.
This is like so refreshing to me. Like I never remembered all of it again. It's like, ooh, yeah.
But it was so cool because like there's always a lot of emotion in the sport. Like I think in the movie Friday Night Lights in the state championship game, when the coach for Dallas Carter was like, he's like, a guy, you pop out and it's like 24 yards, hell no. Like that whole idea of like you let them get this much, right? And then Miles on in that same kind of attitude, like 34 points, that's not enough. And I'm just looking at this like, I'm like, I don't know what mercy rule is, but there may be 3 digits on this thing the way this looks.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is there like a mercy rule? I don't think there is.
I think it's just running clock after like 30 plus or whatever. Yeah. Which makes it happens in the boys game also, so it makes sense. But being in that kind of experience where it's like everything, I mean, you talk about playing, it's as close to a perfect game as you guys can get. Maddie is just, Maddie didn't like any pass shorter than 50 yards that night.
Oh, I know.
You know, you guys are picking everything off. Like, you don't, for a new sport and a relatively new team, to play as close to a perfect game as possible, what was it like being a part of that?
It kind of felt like unreal in a way. I was like, wait, like we're pretty good. Like thinking about that, and then it's just like it's honestly like the domino effect too. Like once one of us does good and we get like hyped about it, it's just it literally just keeps going, and that's honestly like what we needed to like have motivation to like keep pushing, and especially because they beat us and it was like really bad the first game. None of us like
the
that.
PTSD, I can feel that coming out.
Because I can feel it now. Like just like how do we lose that? Like how do we lose like that? Like that was not good. But it's just like we were like no, we're not letting that happen again. So that's why we kind of just like no.
And then in year 2, you guys come out just completely on fire. I know you guys lost to SRV, but 10-0 in league. You guys were like top 12, I think, in the country.
Yeah.
At one point.
It's insane.
You know, you lose to SRV and then you win like 1,000 in a row before the playoff
I think
loss.
we had like it was like 18 or 19 winning streak
something like that.
Like
yeah.
Like we lost in September, then the next loss we had was
with the Heritage playoff, which I don't want to harp too much on it, but
it's okay, honestly.
But like it's almost weird. It's almost poetic in the way it kind of went, right? When you think about the year before the B-Val title game, it was pretty much between both of y'all.
Yeah.
And then you kind of blow them out at home. Now here you guys are back at home, and it seems like just everything that went right a year ago, and even like 2 weeks, even like the week before, it just seemed like nothing was going. I mean, how, if I may ask, how disappointing, how deflating was that?
Losing Heritage in playoffs?
Well, not just losing playoffs, but also losing Heritage, and just kind of the way nothing seemed to work. It almost seemed like you guys were not laboring through, but like you guys couldn't just, everything you guys normally did was just like shut down. That's the way, from what I remember, that's the way it kind of looked.
And wait, you're talking about the last game?
Yeah, the playoff loss.
I
will bring up the good moments, but also like you gotta balance this out.
No, I get that. And it's honestly something I do need to talk about because I literally like hold on to that. Like thinking about it, like literally like makes me want to cry. It's like not even in that way. It's just like we literally like we've blown them out of the park.
Right.
Like the week before that, we beat them twice. Like, and they were good wins. And then it's just like that happened. It was just like that. But that proves that like any team can beat anybody. Right. It's like we won that first game. I think it was St. Mary's or something. I don't even know where they were from, but and then we were like, oh, we're playing Heritage. Like, let's go. Like, and then that's a perfect example of why you don't be cocky because that's basically what we're doing. We were basically just saying like, oh,
do you feel that was
like,
kind of
we're like it's a given. Like we're gonna win. Like next round, like we're playing on because it was Tuesday that first round of playoffs or whatever. That was Tuesday, and then the next time was Thursday. So we're like, oh, we're going to Thursday. Like, we're good. Like, this is fine. And we found out that San Ramon lost, and they were the only team that beat us.
Remember that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
San Ramon. That was like the big story too when San Ramon lost.
Yeah, like it was just like, and they lost at home, and then it's
Right.
like we lost at home too, and it was just like how like that literally is a perfect example. Anybody can beat anybody, and like, but like before the game against Heritage, and we found out that San Ramon lost, I was in the car with one of my friends just waiting, and because it was really cold, we were warming up in the car, and I
If you
saw
think that was really cold, you know where you're going, right?
Yep, everyone tells me that, but honestly, it's okay. But my dad sent me the screenshot saying San Ramon lost, and I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Dude, like that's so good for us."
Right.
We beat Heritage, and then here we go.
Because you guys pretty much would have been, if I remember right, y'all would have been like home, like the rest of the way through.
Because we were first seed. So
right.
And just, I think about that literally every day, and it just like, it's so like, I mean, we kind of like deserved it in a way though, because we just, like I said, we just assumed
Kind of took it for
like,
granted, so to say.
yeah, we're just like, oh, we're good. Like, still fight hard, but like, we're good. We don't really need to worry too much.
Is that like the big lesson, I guess, you take from that good now going into BSC, where it's kind of don't take the game for granted.
Yep.
You know, hey, listen, just because we beat the brakes off someone a week ago, whatever, like it can come right back to haunt it. That kind of taking it with you, so to say.
Yeah, and I do wish like if I can go back and like change my mindset with that, like I would in any second. I would go back and be like, no, like we're not gonna just assume, and then I would also say that amongst my team and stuff because. Yeah, like it just, I hate, like, because I'm just, like, reliving all the moments. Like, that was, like...
Well, to be fair, though, like, for that one bad moment, granted, that was, like, unfortunately, that was, like, your last game.
Yeah, that's why it hit so hard. It was just, ooh.
But with that said, like, you think about a lot of the good moments. I mean, y'all also had, like, the first overtime game in the league history against Freedom. I mean, that was kind of lost. But just being a part of that, right? Because... everyone's looking around like, what do we do? And I'm sitting here like, oh, this is 1958 NFL championship all over again. Like, what happens now? Great. You know, there was so many good moments. The win streaks, you know, just all the big plays you guys had. You know, beating the first year beating Heritage at home to win BVAL, right? You know, the playoff game tournament, number one seed for the first time in a true NCS tournament. How much do you kind of? I mean, even with the bad moments, as far and few as they are, how much do you kind of cherish it now that? As you get set to kind of walk the graduation stage and kind of move on to the chapter.
I miss that team so much. Like last Friday, I don't know if you knew, but West Coast Blitz and Valkyrie, we played against each other, and it's like me and Shy against the rest of our high school teammates, and just being back on that field, like literally after that game, I was like sobbing because I was just like playing with those girls again. Literally, even if it's just against them, it just felt so nice being back on the field with them, and it's just like I reminisce every single day about that team and how like happy we all were and like the way we bonded. It was just it's like unbreakable. Like it was just honestly probably like the most favorite team, like my favorite team that I've ever been on. Like softball or like whatever, like favorite team. I think that's
what stood out about the most for you.
Honestly, like I can't really like pinpoint like exactly, but there was just so many like our whole team bonded. Like it was all new. We all had something in common because like we all started playing this at the same time, and it's like we're all learning and growing together. And I mean, obviously it's like a school sport, so we all go to school together, and like we watch film during lunch sometimes, and like the van rides to games, like that was super fun.
Oh, van rides.
Those, I miss those. Those are. It's my
interesting because
favorite.
like last year when we started the podcast, one of our first guests was Kendall Leclerc from Heritage Girls Basketball.
Yeah.
And she told us about the vans, and I'm sitting here like, so being here from New York and then living in Union City, going to Logan, we had the buses, right? It doesn't matter where we had a bus. So back in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, Brentwood has money. Like, you guys are going to bus again. That just makes sense. And I heard about the vans and all this stuff, and I'm like, she just casually mentioned it like it was nothing, and I'm like, can we get back to the refugee vans? Like, what? I'm like, you guys don't have bus and that whole thing. So it's interesting to hear about the van rides to games because you're probably going to have that as BSC, now think about it, because when I was at CCNY, and that's a Division III school, it was vans all over the city. And I remember having to like just crunch myself into one. And I was like, is this what it's like to be a broke school? Like, what? I wanted to ask just the you mentioned playing with West Coast Blitz and playing against Valkyrie last week.
Mm-hmm.
The one cool thing I've kind of noticed is the growth of the club teams.
Yeah.
Almost like just the immediate, like, the big bang explosion of the club teams.
Yes, I've noticed that too. It's insane.
Your thoughts on just the rapid growth of the sport, and then not just like the younger girls playing for like California football or whatever, but like now it's like it's Apex, it's West Coast Blitz, it's Valkyrie, and that's just the three in our area.
Yeah.
Compared, and I related a little bit to the 7-on-7s with the boys when they get to work in the spring. Wish I had that growing up.
Yeah.
But what's it like, kind of watching everything kind of grow really so exponentially?
It's honestly like super cool because like you never like when things like first start, like it can be like literally anything. It doesn't have to be sports. It's like, oh, like we don't know what to expect. It's or like if you're starting like a company or something, like you don't really know what to expect.
Right.
But then sometimes it'll just grow big and you're like, oh, like this is pretty cool. And it's just like I think about it, I'm like, I never would have thought. Like, I mean, I didn't really know what to think, like what this would look like. I didn't really know if there were club teams, and it's just super cool for like the younger girls to get the opportunities, or like even girls like my age too, because like it's never too late. Like, also that shows it's never too late to start a sport.
Right.
Because like I literally started that sport my junior year.
2 years ago, yeah.
And it's like I'm already having the opportunity to play in college, and it's like just in general that's just a perfect example of like why like how like it's never too late to like start something new. And yeah.
In a way, you and other girls are your age, maybe a year younger, like, and even last year, you guys are kind of pioneering this. If you think about it, right? I think there's so much talk about girls flag football and how fast it's exploded, how much it's kind of hit the scene. The NFL is getting behind it. The Olympics obviously becoming a thing.
Yeah,
have you kind of thought about really trying to do what you can now, kind of prepare maybe for like Olympic trials and kind of see what you can do with that? Because I mean, it is really, it's like, if you think about it, the pro league's coming for sure soon, but the Olympics is like the big one. There really isn't a women's roster.
Yeah, so it's like
so
it's like open for like anyone. It's just like, because with like softball, I was just like, there's no way. Like it's just like you would know if you're like really good, like D1 type of thing. But like with football, it's like there's so many opportunities. Like you never know. Like you really never know. So like I was just actually talking about this with my dad like a few nights ago. We were just talking about like put myself out there more, like get myself like known in like the flag football world, because like there's already some girls like I've seen online and I'm like, oh, like I played against her, like I've seen her before, like, and it's just like the fact that it's growing so big and it's like things are open and things are new. It's like the Olympics, it's like doors are open for like anybody, and that's where it's like that's where I feel like I have confidence. I'm like, ooh, I could have the opportunity to do that. So I'm like all in, and I'm just trying to see how far I can go.
When you think about the possibility of playing the freaking Olympics, I mean, it is not. I think people kind of like when you're younger, you kind of have the idea. Like when I used to fence, I was training for Junior Olympics, and I was like, oh, this would be kind of cool. And then but all my friends are playing football. Biggest mistake I'll ever make in my life. If I don't have a lot of regrets. That was one of them. And my coach was like, all you're gonna do is hit each other. You guys have swords. We have swords. And I'm like, yes, but I don't have fencing in high school. We don't have money for that.
Yeah.
But like just that concept of like the freaking the Olympics. I'm not talking about just like a special like a world tournament. We're talking like the Olympics. We're hosting it. I think.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I want to say like it's going to be at the Kaleigh. I could be wrong on that part, but just like when did you kind of realize like it's a potential? I'm not saying it's definite for sure, but just the idea is legit that I could actually play for country.
Honestly, probably when I was getting like offers, because I'm just like because I like I always compare it to softball, just because like I played for so long.
Right.
It's like a different recruiting type of process, but like I was like I didn't get any offers for softball. I mean, I didn't really talk to schools,
right.
But I was just like when I first started getting offers for flag, I was like, oh, like that's pretty cool. And then once I like committed, I realized I was like, oh, like I'm playing in college. Like I didn't know I was able to do that. Like I didn't know like that would be like a possibility for me. So now like just thinking about like going to that next level, it's just like I can like there's a possibility I can just keep going to the next level as long as I train hard and I just put my all into it. Like I feel like there's a possibility. So
what's been your family's reaction to all this happening?
They think it's really cool, and they think it's really good for me because like I said, I struggled like with my confidence and my mental state with like softball and stuff, and they think it's really good for me because, and I love it so much. Like it's like a breath of fresh air in a way, and like they fully support me, and they think it's yeah, they just think it's super cool, and like they're proud of me for being able to have like opportunities that are like new and something I've never like had before, and yeah, and just a new sport.
When you told me you were going to Wisconsin for school, what was that like?
My mom, the first thing she said is, "You know how cold it is there?" It's like, I'm like, you think I'm thinking it's like 90 degrees there. Like, no, I know it's cold. But I mean, they're fully supportive. Like yeah, it's far, and I am still a little nervous to like go that far and be away.
Right.
But like they're fully supportive of me, and they just told me like do what's best for me and like what will pave my path.
Did they go with you to the visit?
Yeah, my mom went with me. Yeah.
So what did she say about? I mean, what were her thoughts with the campus and kind of all that kind of stuff?
She thought it was really pretty, and I was like, "That's good," because she does not like the cold. But if it's pretty, hopefully it'll distract her a little bit.
Are you prepared for how cold it is in Wisconsin? I'll tell you, as someone from the East Coast, it's colder.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the cold.
Right.
And honestly, like when I went there and it was like 80 degrees here,
yes.
like leaving from 80 degrees here going to like 60, 50 or whatever degrees there.
If you think
I was
that's
like, wait,
cold.
this is kind of nice. I was like,
if you think that's cold.
Yeah.
When you see the weather and it doesn't go above 18.
Yep.
But
we practice inside.
You guys have like a bubble and everything?
That's what my coach told me.
So. Well, I mean, he would have to, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because, that wouldn't be a no-go.
I think I asked you this earlier, but like, moving to Wisconsin and moving up there, like, what kind of stuck out for you about the area? Outside the school, like, what kind of stuck out for you the most?
So, actually, it's kind of funny, because I only had a few calls with the coach, and I never visited. I committed before I even visited.
Okay, so you kind of did everything blind.
I committed to the coach because of everything that he offered. Like, for me, as, like, a player and a student-athlete, like, I just loved everything he was telling me, and it was like I don't really care. Like, I mean, yes, like the school's an aspect. Like, you can't like go to a school you don't like the campus and stuff like that. But for me, it was like I said, like I just loved everything he offered for me. So then once we planned our visit, I was super excited to meet him, meet some of the players, and like I practiced with their team and stuff. And like once I got there and just like saw the area and just like it's super pretty over there. Like the scenery is really pretty, and I love it. I was like, yeah, this is place I want to be, because that was something I was also stressed about. I'm like, what if I go there and I don't like it and I'm already committed? I mean, I could always decommit, but it's like, why would I commit in the first place if I didn't think that like, you know what I mean? So just like once we got there and I was like, okay, like I feel so good knowing this is where I'm going. Like this is something that I can picture myself being here. Like it was like a full circle like moment that was just like, yeah, this is where I'm going. Like it was just, it felt right for me. So
what was the what do you plan on majoring in? Have you thought about that yet? Or
okay, so it's kind of funny because
it's a great start to this. So
for my career, I want to do hair, but I don't need to go to college for that. Really, I mean, I'm getting my degree or my major's business marketing or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't really know. So I mean, I want my degree, so that's why I'm going to college. But I don't really. I'm thinking I might change my mind like later on, probably because it's like I can go to cosmetology school right after high school. Like I didn't even have to go to college. I don't have to do that, but I also want to play flag. So it's like I'm either picking to go to college and play flag or cosmetology school. So I'm just kind of like, we're just gonna go to college first and then figure out if that's still what I want to do. Because like I like thinking about that. Like I thought I had a set plan. I'm like, my original plan before I started playing flag, before I was thinking about maybe playing college or flag was go to LMC. And attend cosmetology school at the same time, because it's like LMC's not too far.
Down the street.
And it's like if I want to go cosmetology school, it's like 30 minutes away. It's like, okay, I can balance that, and I wouldn't be playing any sports. And that was my first plan. And then once I started thinking about, maybe I might want to play in college, and then here I am now. So now I don't really have a plan. But
it's almost interesting when you think about just the opportunity that the opportunity to kind of go away for school that this kind of presented. I mean, it's a junior college for what it's worth, but like, that idea of like being able to go away and being able to kind of be on your own and kind of refigure it out. You might be running your own place by the time you finish school and everything. I have to ask, because you mentioned you want to go to cosmetology school. Did you do the girls' hairs on the team?
Yes, I was team grader. Yep. Cheyenne, I did her hair every single game. That's our thing. And still for Blitz too and whatever, just her two braids, just like mine.
Nice.
Same thing every time.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
I was my train of thought with this. I want to ask about BSC. So you guys play? Do you guys kind of play all over the northern part of the U.S., right? If I had to sign up.
So it's like, I don't really know how to explain it or how my coach explained it to me, but it's like, actually, this makes sense. The school itself is like JUCO, like the schooling itself, but the way like we play our sports and like who we play is basically like a 4-year school.
Okay.
So we play against like universities.
Right.
So we play, well, I mean.
I see Rockford, I see Benedictine. Right.
Pratt and Graceland, like those kind of, yeah. So it's kind of a mixture of like NAIA, JUCO.
It feels like a JUCO NAIA type hybrid.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mixture.
Nice. I want to say the coolest part I saw about this was like they have a game May 4th, and it's going to be at the KC Current facility, and I'm like, oh, you guys have been in for such a treat with that.
Yeah.
I played matches at other MLS facilities, and
oh, really?
It's so dope.
Ooh, okay.
It feels like it's definitely different than playing in a high school stadium or like just a regular field. Like there's a bit more professionalism, kind of a cleanliness to it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be such a treat.
Ooh, okay. Exciting.
That's gonna be so cool. But do you know the team schedule? Like a lot of it's like a winter spring schedule. Is it mixed? Because I'm looking at this. Honestly, they're just doing this to get started, which may be. But no, they've been around for 4 years.
The season's in spring, so
okay,
they
so
have,
spring season.
like, yeah, it's a spring season, but I think they have like pregame, or preseason,
like a preseason type thing.
Yeah,
okay.
like in like the winter time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now to kind of get a feel from when you guys are playing and everything. This is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I saw a video of the first like recap they did on their website, and I was just like, who is he talking to? There's no one here. Come on, like, production guys, come on, one step at a time. Production. Awesome. How excited? So when do you leave?
I move in around like 3rd week of August, but school doesn't start till like the 2nd week of September. But it's just because
you guys have time to get settled in and everything.
Yeah, and it's like apartments because there's no like
student
dorms,
housing.
so it's apartments like off campus, and they're super nice. I went and saw them. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So
I'll say if half the interviews I've done with you, like y'all go to the weirdest states. Like I had Michaela, she went to Arkansas, and I'm like, what is there?
Yeah, like, what?
Wisconsin. Awesome. Kaleigh, thank you so much. Congratulations. Really.
Thank you so
it's been
much.
so fun to these 2 years covering flag football here. Like it's been so I didn't know what it was going to be, and just seeing it explode the way it has. It's been so dope. Like seeing you get scholarships, and I know there's several others from my Deer Valley's program that got scholarships. Like it's been so dope. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's been so cool. Kaleigh Cook, you survived Depressed Talk Sports Live.
Yay.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Depressed Talk Sports Live. Each and every week we shed a spotlight on sports here in the Brentwood, Oakley, and occasionally Antioch area. Don't forget that this podcast is presented by the Brentwood Press. For as little as $20 a year, you too can get a subscription to the Brentwood Press to keep in touch with everything happening in the area. Go to thepress.net and click on subscribe in the upper right-hand corner for more. I am actually learning this. Wow, I'm kind of remembering this now. For the soon-to-be great Kaleigh Cook. I'm Jeff Weisinger. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, take care of one another. We'll catch you soon.
Thank you.